Hello everyone, welcome back to Fractal 101. My name is Alex. Thank you so much for joining me. In today's video, we're dealing with the Virtual Capo function, the ability to detune your guitar at a moment's notice without having to switch instruments or pause the live set, retune, play, and then do it all again. This is a very powerful block in the Axe effects, the FM9 or the FM3, and this will really help you on any gig that you have, whether it's a dance band gig, a hard rock gig, or even your bass gigs. I use this in the funk band I play bass in. It's a wonderful tool, and having it at your disposal is a wonderful thing. So let's dive into how to dial in your Virtual Capo function. We've got a simple preset set up here: input block, amp, cab, reverb, straight to the output. We're on our clean tone first. As you can hear, we're in E standard tuning. What we're going to want to do is add the pitch block to the beginning of our signal chain, no matter how extravagant or simple it is. You can either go to Quick Build, find your pitch block, drag and drop, or you can right click and find pitch. With the FM3, you will have one pitch block. With the Axe Effects 3, you will have two. Keep that in mind as you're building your presets. When we have the pitch block engaged, we can go to Type, find Virtual Capo, and the stock settings are pulled up. The first thing to get in the habit of doing is setting your detector source on your pitch block to input 1. Even though we're at the beginning of the chain, it's really important that we read the input of the guitar, as opposed to all of the previous blocks that lead into it. If you're using this as a harmonizer or as an octave function later in your signal chain, it's a lot more powerful, clean signal reading straight from the guitar as opposed to the previous blocks. Make sure that your input gain and your mix are set to 100%. If not, with the input gain you'll have a level dip, and with your mix you will start to hear your dry, unaffected signal, and you might get some half steps, and it'll get really crunchy really quick. You might find that your pitch block, when bypassed, makes your level shoot up or down. You can fine-tune that with the level function, but leaving it at 0, totally fine as well. Make sure your bypass mode is set to through. Now for the fun stuff. We're going to dive into the shift function. You can go up or down in half steps. Very powerful, up to 2 octaves in either direction. So, here's our E chord from the beginning. Pretty powerful right off the bat. But notice there are some artifacts when we're playing with our pitch tracking set to fast, which it's default to. This is great for single note lines, but maybe you're playing a lot of chordal stuff, a lot of strumming. Go to pitch tracking, switch to smooth. So here's fast and then smooth, and you'll hear the difference in the processing. As the name suggests, smooth. It's a really nice thing to have. You can increase or decrease the tracking. Just know that that may add some latency to your signal, especially when you're on an FM3, which has less processing power. One thing to note is that as we dial further down, we're going to be adding more bass artifacts from our guitar into our amp signal. It's going to change our tone quite a bit. So let's go down to B standard. Now on a clean tone it may not be as readily apparent, but if we get to our crunch rhythm sound, you might start to hear a flubbier bass sound than you would if the block wasn't engaged. So here it is, bypass. And here it is engaged. You hear it gets a little flubby, right? One thing you can do is add a low cut. For every half step, I'm typically dialing this down 20 to 30 hertz. And as we go subsequently lower, you'll have subsequently more low cut. So what we can do to test this is copy our current channel to all other channels. So now we have our Virtual Capo settings copied to everything, and we'll just go down in half steps. Maybe we'll take this one 2 whole steps. So we have -1, 2, 4, and 5. So we have E flat standard, D standard, C standard, and B standard, or baritone standard tuning. As we go through this, you're going to hear those artifacts compile. And one thing we're going to do is add that low cut, go back through, and listen to the difference. So here's E flat standard. And with the low cut engaged, a significant improvement to my ear. Going down to D standard, with more low cut, nice tight low end. We're now at C standard. Add that low cut in there. And finally, our baritone tuning of B standard. Really helps tighten up that low end as we get further down in pitch. One thing of note, if you are using multiple versions of the Virtual Capo, you may end up switching channels and switching your guitar tuning, like this. Uh-oh, not so great. A thing that they have now built into all Fractal devices is the scene ignore function. This will keep your Virtual Capo on the current settings and the current channel, whether you're on bypass or engage, as you switch through all of your scenes. Make sure you apply scene ignore to all of your pitch block channels, or you may run into this issue. So perhaps we bypass. And we want to re-engage. We now have the capability of staying in that tuning for an entire song, then turning on or off the block using a foot switch. Thank you for watching this video. I hope this was helpful to you, and I hope that you can utilize this on your next gig, no matter what the genre or instrument. If you liked this video, we have more videos on the channel: Fractal 101, tutorials of tone, gear reviews, playthroughs, etc. Take care, and we'll see you all in the next video.